Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to AlbionTV. You are joining us for the kickoff of Season 13. My name is Lewpac, and joining me, of course, is Shozen, and we got Bogul on the ones and twos operating that camera. It's all about to go down as a brand new season that promises to be full of drama, backstabbing, hand-holding, and general shenanigans. Shozen, are you ready?
I don't think I am, Lewpac. From everything I've heard, this season's going to be too much to handle.
I mean, we have a guild that says they're going out with a bang. They want to win the season, do what no other guild has ever done, and win a fourth season, and then disband. But we also have a bunch of guilds that hate them with a passion.
So much, yeah.
So I think this season promises to be drama-filled. I've heard a few rumors of different guilds saying we're going for number one, but obviously actions speak louder than words. Saying you're going for number one is very different to getting number one, and I know that firsthand, Shozen. I can now say that with confidence because I have been there, and
You've gotten number one. You've done it. You've been number one in Albion.
And I can tell you, I had to leave my wife. I had to leave my kids. You know, I had to quit my job. I'm only joking. I'm unemployed, and you know, the wife and kids are still here. But that's actually very inefficient. The most efficient thing you can do is have like a 6-7 man boss team, which we know can kill the boss in 3-4 minutes. The problem is those guys in a fight are about as useful as Logan Paul against Floyd Mayweather, right? They're not there. I mean, they can cuddle for a few if they're allowed to, but basically they can't fight back against the ZVZ force. You'll need to protect your boss teams, maybe more efficient, but they'll be need to protected against other Zergs and of course gankers, who there's a lot of opportunists on reset day. You'll notice people not involved in ZVZs riding oxes trying to scoop up the loot. You'll notice gank teams trying to jump boss teams and grab that juicy boss gear on the cheap. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. There's going to be a lot of big ZVZ action, which is always great to see. And there's also going to be a lot of meta gaming and macro. Like, we will see some big engagements, we will see some big fights, but you're constantly going to see these blobs posturing and posing and moving away from each other as they're all part, you know, you've got two sides in a big war right now that we're going to be covering quite a lot of. There's a load of other factors. Arch will do Arch stuff, but generally you've got the PoE coalition against the anti-PoE coalition. And these guys have a lot of different forces on the field, and they'll constantly be trying to maneuver and surround each other with their additional forces. So it may look like there's a lot of running away, but these guys are all looking for the advantage because nobody wants to be on the bad side of a losing kill board, because immediately the victors will be posting it on Reddit and claiming that they won the game, shows.
The entire game in one battle.
You'd think it was won in a single battle, the way it goes down here. But we're just cruising around now, seeing who's out on the field, seeing the size of these forces. Usually, you know, back in the day before Queen, it would be about 5-2 before we saw action. But now people are on the field an hour early.
Absolutely.
Right? The fights
they're getting
are going
into position.
down.
They're trying to separate their forces to where they need to be so that they can come together at the right locations. They're finding those choke territories, making sure that they can control going in multiple directions and have scouts everywhere around the world. I just saw a level 63 debuff.
Wow, who was that?
That was a call. It's not 63 at the moment because they've separated part of the group out and they're down to 52, but 63 might be the highest I've seen.
Yeah, I think so as well. Oh no, actually, no, I might have seen higher in Arch as well. The problem is when you get to that size, it almost fills a zone on its own. Like it's all well and good to move around. Like Syndic's running around with a 45 right now, and that's already like massive. It looks like Steve are currently chasing Syndic.
Interesting.
Elevate chasing Syndic towards the gate here. Crimson, they aren't going for the gate, so it looks like they're looking for somewhere to dismount and turn in Battle Brave Peaks, just outside Arthur's Rest. They have the option, but the exits are queued right now. The exits are queued. I don't know who's got who backing up, but it looks like PoE might have to face fight Steve here. Just Syndic and his blob. No support from PoE 2. Here comes the dismount. They're going to look for the turn here. They're actually hiding on Syndic. I don't think Elevate will run straight into this. But here comes... Oh, some people are getting queued out now. Some people are getting queued out. The OC has popped, and Syndic is going to be our POV for this first bit of action then for the Season 13 kickoff, Shozen.
I'm excited for this. I love watching these big teams fight off against each other. And these two groups have been fighting each other for years now.
I think this is the... We were trying to work this out on stream the other day. This is either the 4th or 5th anti-PoE coalition.
Yeah. Then you have the PoE coalitions that fought against Oops. So this is like... They were a coalition that fought against the massive groups before other massive groups fought against them. So, it's still payback from 2017.
A few extra blobs zoning in. I'm just going to quickly bounce around, see who's coming in. We got some more Steve coming in from the northeast. And we got some random Surf actually zoned in. Frostborn from Surf 2. Kind of just taking a few slots in the zone. They don't look like they're in any shape to... Oh, some Squad coming in. And we know Squad is currently affiliated with PoE. Hand-holding. Hand-holding. Coalition. Affiliation. Partnership. Whatever you want to call it. They're doing one of them. Steve coming in from the south. Looking for a bit of Golem action. Golem on Golem action at the front. And there's a lot of posturing. A lot of people trying to wrap round here. We haven't seen our first solid engage. Here comes Steve coming in from the east looking for something. Camlan Clunk. Bremmy's on top of the tanks. The defensives go down. Nobody dropping in that. They look for some counter. And here goes Syndic and the boys. They're looking for an east engage defensives. Good use of those enigmatics from Steve. They're looking to go deep, but it doesn't look like PoE can find anything off the back of that. They take a lot of damage in return, but their defensives are good. I engage drops low. And it's just going to be... I think they're just getting a feel for each other right now. No one wants to go fully in, but more and more people are getting zoned out. And PoE just had a huge chunk of the Zerg zoned out. Were you watching Syndic there?
Yeah,
like
I was.
Everybody around him just seemed to
start blinking yellow. Yeah,
seemed to get dismounted and gone. So I don't know who's coming in to replace them, but personally, I hate to see it. I hate to see people who are actively engaged in a fight.
Yeah,
like. I personally would rather the cluster queue acted as like a constant wave of reinforcements instead of removing people who are already there.
Who are
huge
already
blob
engaged.
just zoned in and from northwest. So actually, like Syndic just lost a bunch of guys so that Blue Army could come in. I don't know if Elevate took equal. Okay, Syndic and his boys want to go north. Offensive aura is going to be
by
used.
Syndic here.
That
Look at all
was
those
nice.
dead Steves.
And Blue Army's coming from behind. Blue Army's coming from behind, and Elevate are about to get. They're about to get the Syndic special. We know this man likes to surround.
They just made a nice comeback. Look
turn.
at what just happened to the south flank of Syndic and the boys here in
have
CIR.
to push, though.
They are downed.
Yeah, but they have to go. They have to go through PoE right now. They can't pull back from this engage because Blue Army's about to come behind them, and this is about to get messy.
I think they're going to pull up and rotate Steve with a 3 with Steve. There's 2 different Steve groups here, I believe.
Yeah, the last season here with the Mammoth on the field. This is some random E's being thrown from PoE. Some sloppy PoE stuff there. But look at these guys. No. They're on a little cliff edge. These guys
that just eradicated the Stevies. Wow.
And now look at Bello on his Mammoth. He could be in a bit of jeopardy here if they decide to hunt him. If Mojo has things under control, they can hunt the Steve Mammoth right now.
I'm gonna hop over to Mojo and see what's going on over there as well.
Okay, you give me some Mojo info. I'll tell you what's going on down here. Syndic is just dealing with the last season. I mean, it's been last season for a while. Very deceptive guild name because I'm pretty sure they've done a few seasons. It looks like that's going to be their last showing in this battle. And again, this is what I talk about, right? Syndic kited and postured, and he knew Mojo was queuing in. He knew the Blue Army wave was going to come from north. And we know that the Elevate and Blue Army, they got beef, haven't they?
They got a little bit of beef. They might be going on for a while.
They got more beef than a butcher's shelf, mate. Like, and you know, any opportunity to flank each other, these two guilds are going to do it. And they're going to be straight on Trash Talk Discord, typey. You know, to keep the finest keyboard warriors from each guild are going to be deploying their best Trash Talk.
Well, if we head over If we head over to Mojo right now, you can see Mojo pushing Elevate to the north. The first 3 engagements were very even, back and forth. However, Mojo was able to secure the 4th engagement, and now he is pushing a Breaking Steve, pushing them up to the north. There isn't much resistance from Elevate at the moment, but at any time here, as soon as they find a choke, they could turn and burn this constantly pushing forward Blue Army force.
The issue they've got, though, is with last season being wiped there, they know that Syndic's probably out there looking for an angle on them. So they're trying to play tight to the wall so that they only have to deal with Blue Army. Like you say, they want to make exchanges. But PoE, you can see you've got some Crimson guys up there. Just to the north of the screen, they've scouted the Elevate backline. And these guys simply need to peace out. Like, they did some good early engages onto PoE and Crimson. But as soon as that flank came in, like, you know, they need to leave, and they know they're mounting up and they're trying to get out. They may lose a few of the slower battle mounts. For example, obviously the golems aren't the fastest, any behemoths. I think the battle mammoth got out though. I don't see Syndic chasing it. I don't think there was any ballistas on the field. Handsome Bob from Elevate. He's gonna get dropped here, but yeah, nothing too crazy right now. Did he just go invis with the battle mount? Or did he die? Hang on. Handsome Bob is in Viz with a battle mount here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's go see what Domna is doing as well. I'm going to check that out.
They had, I think it was a 62% when I saw them. Looks like they're having a bit of a fight with Arch right now. Arch and Surf. Wow, that's a tight little choke he's pushing his boys through. But no Arch to capitalize on it. Like, you wouldn't push a choke like that against Cool or PoE or Blue Army. Do you know what I mean? That's a situation you will only get away with a weaker ZVZ force. And even Arch are pretty strong on the field right now. They're not the pre-Queen Arch that everybody used to meme on in Flat 4. These guys bring the gear. They've got shot callers. And the main thing is they can use overwhelming numbers to just swarm the zone. Does look like right now, though, Dominant and the boys are running through them and just having their way with the stragglers here. Picking up that loot and conveniently close to Arthur's Rest to bank it.
Yeah, I actually did an interview with Dominant just the other day. I believe it was 2 days ago. I spoke with him. That will be airing on Wednesday. So do look forward to that on our new time for the interviews. We're not going to be here this Sunday. We are changing our schedule. We are now Tuesday through Saturday at AOTV. So look forward to seeing the changes in the schedule coming up very soon.
Everything wrapped up there with the Arch boys. I wonder if the Chinese are on the field today. We know that there's been a lot of talk about this new Waterfat Guild combination. They've still got TikTok and some others in the Alliance.
Syndic is back into the fight right now. We have a group. This is a Homeless Crew, actually. The Q Alliance, new alliance here featuring Homeless Crew.
Well,
engaged with Syndic right now.
They're still cool. They are still the cool alliance, but for the purposes of reducing their debuff and Q weighting, they are now the Q Alliance, which is a bit of a play on the cluster Q system, as you can imagine. But it looks like, again, the Blue Army PoE sandwich is just trying to hit and run, play defensive. Brimstone onto absolutely nothing from Homeless Crew there. And it's a little wrap round. This is some tight chokes, though. Homeless Crew have chosen some nice places to play on, but it does look like a few of them. Oh, Pendolino coming in from the north. Syndic's going to have to think about this because he could actually get counter sandwich if these guys are playing independent. It does look like his boys are safe right now. They've got Homeless to the south. They might look for a fat engage onto the side of them here. They're clumped. Blue Army's already in there, though. That's always frustrating, and one of the disadvantages of like being allied but not officially is right there. They could have got a fatty clap, right? They could have clapped a bunch of guys with no defensives, but Blue Army was already up in there, so they can't do it without the friendly fire.
This fight is already over here as we're watching Africa now sprint away, and now he's caught by Blue Army. There's nothing left of the Homeless Crew here.
Is he on a mammoth?
Did get checked. I didn't see it by the time I got to him. No.
Okay, so that's dusted. The problem is you can't keep feeding Zergs into Syndic and Mojo together, right? Because these are two, people are talking about the strength of Cool, right? Elevate's always been a massively strong ZVZ guild, right? but you can't put yourself, and no matter how strong your Zerg is, you don't want to put yourself sandwiched between two of the most experienced leaders in the game. Like that is not a situation that any one force can deal with. They need to be zoning in. Like they needed Elevate and Q there at the same time, so they could fight on 2 or 3 fronts and just stop this sandwich happening, because we've just seen 2 Zergs get completely wiped by the same
We have
thing.
another one here too, as Angelique is engaged over here against Hero 9. So we do have the Reject Sanity Guild, Sans Alliance at the moment, fighting against
name.
Black Order. Angelique, I'll type it in chat for you.
That would definitely be helpful. Tell us what's going on then.
Right now, it's Angelique is pushing hard into the back line of the Black Order. Fred Riddick is running away on his Mammoth, but wow, massive clump gathered and dropped. It looks like quite a few of these guys from Hero 9 are going to be heading home. They never really got a front line going. It looks like Nope is here as well, also crashing into the opposite side of Hero 9. I didn't know that they were on the field at the moment, actually. Now it looks like Reject Party is going to be falling back just a little bit as they're going to regroup, prepare for yet another wave of Hero 9.
Black Order coming in. Big claps onto those boys. This is Reject Sanity. They are part of Nope as far as I know, but they've dropped solo for, again, whatever purpose. They're 33% on their own. That's a respectable mass from, you know, a non, like, flavor of the month or hype guild.
Yeah, just a standard guild that's been here for a couple of seasons now, just really doing their work.
Yeah, Black Order. Do we see Shiro on the field? Do we see like the full
Fred Riddick
Black
is on the
Order
field.
experience?
I mean, I don't know if I didn't see Shiro anywhere, but I did see Fred.
But that's like, Fred's like, it's like if you ordered Shiro off Wish.com and Fred arrives. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh, yeah,
He doesn't whip him the same as Shiro. Say what you want about Shiro, but he gets his guys to do what they need to do.
A very good organizer.
It looks like Reject Sanity just running through these boys. Respect. Looking very, very strong. Real harass here. He's looking for that execute. Those Bloodletter players, they love it. They love a bit of execute. Mortal Agony. Rapier stab. Let's get it done. poor STL. Like, this is the one where, like, you try and survive as long as possible for your own your pride, you know.
You're not gonna stay alive though.
You're not getting away. And Hero 9 all routed. This is West Alliance, by the way. So Fax, formerly of Nope, is now the West Alliance, which is Fax, Enlisted, and Delusive.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we got a little bit of. Oh no, it's nothing. It's cleanup crew. And now I have found Nope Alliance as well.
Okay.
So it looks like with this new disarray patch, which we can talk about briefly, a lot of these bigger alliances and groups have split into smaller, sort of aiming for like the 150 mark, so that anybody that fights them with 300, like, so if you bring 2 groups of 150 versus 1 group of 300, provided you flank well, you have a massive advantage thanks to the new disarray just being so much more punishing. Hero 9 full routed in Deepwood Dell, and I think that's going to wrap that fight up.
Yeah, these guys are mounted and running. It does look like Reject is trying to catch these guys. Even though they're mounted, they're going to probably run them down to the ends of the earth to see what happens. There's another group here, West. I haven't seen them before.
That's a break off of Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
All right, so Nope is split into 3 different groups right now.
West and
Nope
Reject Sanity
is part of the PoE coalition as well.
Yeah, they are siding with PoE in the Great War. They're looking for the safe bet, I think.
Oh,
but
okay.
I also,
right.
I think that loyalty, I believe, was earned during the Black Order eviction, because after Black Order were evicted, a lot of that land was handed over to Nope and borders were drawn up. So I think they're they're in bed together, shall we say?
Oh, really?
Bit of a sleepover, if you will.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So, platonic love.
Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go back over to Angelique then and see what's happening here. I think pretty much I have a feeling that by the end of this war, every sort of relevant party or every party of a certain scale in the end game will be drawn into this war in one way or another.
I agree. It's gonna
this
take
feels
over
like
this
this
world right
feels
now.
like the biggest one, right? But I also feel like the thing that's probably going to end this war will be the effort to stop Blue Army getting #1. I think if Blue Army look like they're getting #1, efforts will be redirected to that, which could let PoE off lightly. If you remember, the last war was ended because the China Alliance decided they wanted to fight a second simultaneous war.
That didn't really work out well for them.
The anti-PoE coalition before that ended because the majority of people in it didn't actually like each other.
Well, I don't think these guys like each other either. From what I've discussed with Dominant, they are not really what you'd call an alliance or a coalition. They just all have the same goal of defeating PoE. However, if they run into each other on the open world, they will attack each other. They will even take territories from each other. If we're not getting content from Syndic, we'll make our own content by killing each other because we don't really like each other. And we want... Oh, wow. That was a massive engagement right there.
Look at
that was very well done.
Pocket Life from Hero 9 finding a nasty little angle there with his energy shaper. That was really smart play from him. I think he ended up getting plucked out of it.
Yeah,
but that's how you need your DPS to play, right? Your DPS, they have to be looking for those sweet spots, because when a guy is on his own, right, a DPS standing on his own, you can't engage on that. You can't really even commit anything to it. So standing away from your Zerg is probably the safest place to be.
Wow, did you see that engagement over there of those poor Hero 9 who are doing what heroes do?
Poor comms though. Those guys. Oh no, okay. I said they should have pulled out the north, but Nope was making sure the north exit. Yeah. There was no north exit viable. Those guys, the backs to the wall, and that was like a firing squad. That was like the Albion equivalent of a firing squad. Chosen. They had nowhere to go.
Wall.
Do not pass go, and do not collect your loot because it will be on the floor. Yeah. Xena, it looks like, pinned in the dry vein step castle with one flank of Crimson. Guild Xena, though, have Zigzag under control. They're not actually... Oh, okay. There's PoE VZ, the other side, with a level 35. Not the biggest Zerg on the other side, but Guild Xena, retreat is not an option now. These guys have 31% chosen. They have they have a smaller force. No, they have a smaller force than the second Zerg. Syndic's coming in with...
Syndic's got a 46, yeah.
Yeah, so these guys are effectively up against, like, what, a 70+?
Yeah, it's going to be rough for them.
I think their goal is to survive and maybe log out a Mammoth if
maybe
they have
wait somebody else to come around as well, because
yeah, maybe,
there's plenty of other groups
coming
around that are part of this overarching coalition, and you could probably use a little bit of a TeamSpeak server help. I know that Syndic's got like 40 guys in his. I don't think Syndic needs any help right now. Guild Xena looking for a little poke out the west as the bombs come over the wall. That bomb squad spot, no one watching that bomb squad spot. You need a mace playing there. You can sacred ground over the corner and prevent bomb squads from doing anything. Now they try and do it, but it's not so good. Guild Xena, they get some good return fire, but their DPS isn't hitting deep enough, and the arcanes, those enigmatics are just totally comfortable with riding out that pressure. Does look like a few deaths coming at the back though. Yeah, Guild Xena, now the other PoE forces at the other gate. So the few remaining Guild Xena, they're down to a 29 right now. The few remaining guys have to watch 2 flanks and bomb squads, and they simply don't have the numbers to do it. And this is just going to be I'm getting news that Elevate is going to be okay. They're going to have a flank coming from Riverbed, apparently, so they will be there soon. They should be able to come back up. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, Guild Xena just need to survive. And here comes on the eastern side, sorry, PoE VZ come in, hitting Guild Xena hard. Has the other gate gone? The other gate isn't gone yet, though. So PoE VZ have broke one gate, and they've actually already headed up towards the Lord Room. They're pulling down the elites, and Guild Xena are up in the north. I don't think Elevate's going to get here in time, Chosen, because they're going to have to queue in as well, right? So they're going to be a minute and a half. What I would do if I was Guild Xena is set my whole guild to priority 20, so I get zoned out. When Elevate try to come in, I try and get zoned out, because these guys, you know, they're pinned in, aren't they? Effectively,
They're going to try and brute force their way out through PoE VZ, which is the smaller of the two forces. But these guys, they're holding a line here. How have Crimson still not got this door down, Shozen? Like, what is this door made of?
A lot of bombs over the wall. I mean, just sometimes you get pushed off over and over again, or you don't bring enough hammers, or you don't spend enough time on them. You know, that's what happens.
As soon as this door goes, it's going to be rowdy. Okay, here comes the zone out, right? Here comes the zone out. So we know Elevate is coming in. These guys, Syndic needs to get this door down, and it needs to wipe these guys before Elevate connects. Like, if they can wipe Guild Xena and get defensive against Elevate, I imagine Mojo's on his way. Like, he can't be far behind, can he? So I think it's important that they get this done, because I think Elevate behind there's still enough left of Guild Xena to have an impact.
Elevate is right next door, and they're queuing in 45 seconds.
Wow. Okay, so they're ready to go. But here goes the door. No, it looked like they were through. Yeah, there goes the door. I did think I heard it. And here comes the PoE surge. And unfortunately for Guild Xena, they just used cooldowns trying to hit that other door. And now they are backed into the Lord Room. And we do have this new look. Oh, we can actually bounce over there. Here they come from behind. I see another blob approaching quickly. I'm going to quickly go and see who that is, Shozen.
Okay.
This could be the backup that was promised. No, it's more PoE.
Oh, of course it is.
It's Rogue Natives. Oh, no, it's Steve. It's the last season. It's the last season being chased by Rogue Natives.
Guild Xena is getting pounded right now.
Wait, the last season, they're going to have to turn on Rogue Natives because those guys came out for the fight. Now there's a little brawl going outside in the courtyard that I'm trying to follow. I don't know if we can get it on second camera. Last season and Rogue Natives just trying to hold out.
Do you have a name for Bogul on the second camera?
I'll try and get you one. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, we're okay.
If we go
There's not going to be a lot of guys left of Guild Xena here to save soon. Wow.
Wising, Wising, is a good POV for last season. They're trying to breach the courtyard. This is a really crazy fight. There's so many fronts to this fight right now, but Guild Xena, they're about, I don't know, they no longer have a debuff, I don't think. Oh, they have a slight. Oh no, they got the debuff because they're Steve, aren't they? So the other Steve. Oh, Elevate's coming in from a different side. Crimson are on the high ground.
I see what's taking Elevate so long to get here. They found an old white aspect and are killing that rather than coming through the door.
They actually, if it's in range, it doesn't matter. If they're still in queue, in range, it's fine. Guild Xena is about to get wiped, though, up against the wall. They've got an Ent trying to remount. The hammers are whacking away at the door. Doing a good job of defending these doors. Elevate now are here, coming in from Zigzag. Okay, Elevate's arrived. Not the hugest force of them right now on Zigzag.
There's still quite a few coming out from the others, over here in Daemonium Keep, just down to the southeast.
Syndic and his boys pulling back to Zigzag. They're going to give Guild Xena a little bit of space to link up with the Elevate Zerg. But I think the problem is Guild Xena can't fight independently now. They don't have enough. So they're effectively, instead of having two fronts, they're going to make one Zerg. Fantastic Grail Seekers from Steve there. Shutting down that choke, but that clump up there gets completely deleted. The only survivors are the guys with the ice block. The loot's going out as Syndic is trying to regain control of this top platform. And I just think they got there too late, Shozen. I think...
Yeah, just a little late. I think they should have come through earlier.
I think Guild Xena should have called off the backup.
Oh, you think they should have just sacrificed themselves?
I don't think, maybe a few of them get out because of this, but the guys that survived are just replaced by Elevate and last season deaths now. I think Guild Xena should have made the call that we don't have enough to impact this fight. So unless you think you can win this fight on your own, plus our scraps, don't worry. Because I think, there's actually a lot of Steve on Zigzag coming behind. And Syndic's group, actually, there's a huge wave just arrived to the north. And they are flooding through the tower. And they just killed a huge chunk of PoE there. That was amazing. I didn't even see those guys coming. And all of a sudden, it's a flip reverse. Maybe they were right to call them in. They got there a bit too late to save Guild Xena, but they took revenge on PoE. And I think now the battle mounts are going to dip.
And yep, that's what we're seeing here is didn't quite win the war. They won some battle there. They didn't win this war. They're going to be fleeing out the zone here. Oh, I do love watching those Colossus, though. Those guys are lovely. I love them.
Yeah. I wish they did like a little monkey run animation like the tree does. That'd be really cool.
Oh, like
they sort of ran on the hands.
Runs.
Yeah. But we've already got the tree that does that, and it looks super good. If they did that, everybody would cry that the animation's reused.
True.
You can't keep them all happy. So it looks like these boys going to tap out of here. Towers are starting to fall and
We've
be
seen a number
claimed by the various guilds. I have to see. Do you want to? I mean, have we got any action anywhere else, or do we want to?
I'm hopping around now.
Sorry, what
was that,
Mojo.
Bogul? Okay. I was gonna say we also have Noob Slayer as well versus PoE. So we
King
can hit both of
Mojo's
those.
chilling in peaks, and it looks like he's fighting Surf right now. So Surf have Surf Y as well. Why? I don't know. Why is probably because they want to avoid the debuff, like everybody else. You don't want to be the one sandwiched by smaller forces with a worse debuff because it's just awful. Looks like this one is this one's a wrap-up job, and the names. I'm seeing a lot of names on the field for squad that we haven't seen in a while.
Names?
Yeah, apparently everyone's coming back for this.
Yeah, they are.
For this, you know. I see Guleka. I see, you know, Pizza Dad on the.
Well, Pizza Dad's been there for a while. I'll be clear. Pizza Dad has not left.
AYZ. When was the last time you saw AYZ, man?
It's been a while.
Like
good old Zed, yeah.
Yeah. This is vanilla.
Well, one of the things I've heard about Squad is they have so many new old players coming back from so long ago that they had rules in place for how to deal with the cluster queue. And if you screwed up the cluster queue, you would get kicked, except for this long list of names of people who don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, they have no idea how to deal with
there's like
queue.
you guys have a little bit of a leeway period. You have some time to learn. Don't worry. Until the season starts, we're going to be a little bit lenient. But now the season's going on. Let's see what happens here. And Mojo demounts once again. He's got Surf in front of him. They got magical here on
mammoth.
on his mammoth. This could be dangerous for title here.
Let's follow his POV then, so we can get an idea of his HP. That would be nice, wouldn't it? I think he's getting drilled by this ballista. He's waiting for his debuff so he can get back in, but he is held in place. And right now, this ballista is getting channel after channel into him. I don't think he's making it out of here unless he loses Outlaw and gets a shield. He's gone out of the bubble, I think, Shozen. I mean, he's just inside it, trying to survive. He's trying to sort of juke back and forward. But when there's a ballista on top, you don't get long. And there's the dismount, and that is a tidal mammoth. Is it going into the bank of somebody else? Elder's Kamar mammoth was picked up. So Tidal handing over at the start of the season one of those most valuable battle mounts to the Blue Army coffers. And I'm sure they'll receive that gratefully, Shozen.
Oh, yeah, they'll enjoy that. That's free loots.
Remember, if you loot a battle mount, it is your duty to go straight to Reddit, whip out your keyboard and go, thanks for the donations. That's like Albion law, isn't it?
It is. It's one of the few laws that we have here.
These guilds have tens, if not hundreds of billions in coffers, right?
Oh,
and
Blue Army has quite a bit.
They still give it thanks for the donations when they get 50 ZVZ sets off someone, even though it's like, you know, it's like Wall Street, isn't it? It's just throwing a little bit of money on top of the massive pile of money that you already have. All of these guilds, man. Blue Army, like Elevate, like all of the Surf, like these guys have got just stupid amounts of silver in reserve for these wars, because you don't go to war without this money. I'd actually just go to if you just want to see a little bit of action, go to Harud, Harud. I just saw what we were talking about earlier, a bluff boss team catching an arch boss team in the middle of boss teaming. And we've got small-scale reset day action.
And that Arch team is running from what looks like a much smaller group from Bluff.
Yeah, but they got caught on the boss. They got caught on the boss.
Yeah, but you pull out and then you regroup and you fight this. You don't leave 3-4 of your guys to fight alone.
Come. Oh, that was an air compressor and a half. No follow-up, though.
Zero. It's not like they're on comms together or something. Half of them are mounted. They have one tank not mounted. They have one healer not mounted.
There's a huge blob on the door, by the way, that hasn't actually... Okay, there's a huge amount of arch coming to support. The bluff guys need to leave this tower now. Because they were like,
oh, yeah, they're going to get run down. There's Nemesis, there's Awful Company, there's Blast.
I think Bluff realize now.
Win the objectives and make our own content. So
yeah,
I
but
don't think that's going to work this season.
There's only so many times you can wipe each other in your own ZVZs. Like... before one side starts to get annoyed. Like,
well, yeah, that's the thing is they genuinely don't like each other, so they want to keep those fights together, and it's almost like tough for them to hold off on fighting each other to attack PoE, which they all do agree is more detrimental than each other. They'd rather push PoE as far out of the black zones as possible, limit as much of their rental ability as possible, focusing on squads rental empire in the north, PoE's rental empire in the south. Push those guys off the rental empires, and if you have to fight each other for content, go for it, because none of these groups are hurting for gear at this point. All of them have the ability to re-gear.
Yeah, they've all got so
like
much
you're
money.
you're not gonna run out of gear if you're Elevate this season just because you're fighting against Steve. It doesn't matter if you're fighting against Call. It doesn't matter if you're fighting against Call or PoE, as long as you're getting content and making progress in the push to remove PoE.
Does look like June is bearing down on PoE.
Yep, I see them getting real close here in Dry Vein End.
The problem is okay, let's go to that, because PoE Homeless Crew just zoned in at the same time, which I think is going to lead PoE to just leave, and once again they don't get content.
Pendolino getting kind of slapped around here. I love Pendolino, one of my favorite groups going on right now. All the Polish groups merging together under one banner. Unfortunately, it looks like West. Who's West? Lewpac?
No, it's just
another Nope.
The core part of Nope, I believe. So Fax and a few of the other key guilds. Yeah, Fax is actually quite a small guild relatively. They're only half of Cap, but Reject Sanity on this side of the war. Reject Sanity are the big story for me. Those guys with an impressive mass, and not only that, some impressive fighting today.
Yeah, they did well.
I was really like, for someone who I would never really have considered as a standout guild, more of just like part of a group.
Consistent though, they've constantly shown. We've always seen them around. They've kind of changed their name a few times, but we know these guys. We recognize the players in the groups. They kind of stick together while they change their names, but they've always been consistent.
I've never seen them. Well, Berta with the dismount for loot, cocky. I've never seen them operate independently and so effectively, is what I'm saying.
I agree with that statement.
And very impressive on field today.
They're veteran players, and eventually veteran players are going to show up and make a statement. They're going to show you their skills one day when everything comes together for them. We've seen this happen with a lot of different guilds over time.
This looks like it's wrapping up over there. Dry Vein Cross has actually got Mojo in it now. Looks like Dry Vein is about to pop off in multiple directions. Mojo, though, is queuing for Battle Braid Peaks.
Okay, from Dry Vein. Yep.
So I feel like Squad's job today is just to keep Surf away from the main fight. Like, because Surf have been the ones knocking hideouts on behalf of the coalition. So they kept, obviously, they've blockaded Surf from going to Confluence and getting that shield, which I believe was their job. And yeah, it's worked really, really well for them. And I don't know how every single fight's gone, but the ones we saw looks pretty good for Mojo and the gang. Arch, by the way, are hunting down something in Battle Braid Peaks. I'm trying to see what they're killing. Oh no, they're all saying stop. Oh, so they're trying to tell Arch to not kill this Blue Army guy, but just like trying to tell monkeys at the zoo to not throw feces. And feces has been thrown, and down that man goes.
Okay.
Like 15 seconds of your shot caller spamming stop should in theory be enough. Shozen.
Well,
but it was
some
not.
people don't read.
Or can't read.
It happens. Some people, English is not their first, second, or third language.
Syndic making his way across approach with another blob in hot pursuit. Never mind, that's PoE 2, which is currently like Skoyatel, Sun, and then a few other smaller entities inside there. Rage controls up in there. Those guys rocking a level 44 as well. So like PoE has 3 blobs in the 40 plus region today. And I think that's without the Koreans. I haven't even seen PoE KR. I think, you know, those guys last season, they actually got kind of big. K-Bread and the boys were like, those guys were massing at midday 140. Like,
wow.
Which, that is their prime time, but that's still a good mass.
No, that's an incredible mass. If you're bringing close to half the guild cap, you're doing very well.
They were actually instrumental in the Sun season win because they were fighting Mudhouse at that timer, because that was Mudhouse's kind of prime time as well, and they were fighting them and helping over the most valuable castles. So K-Bread really coming into their own last season, and definitely a force to watch in the SEA time slot this season. Looks like the territories have gone pretty much as expected, though. We talked briefly during the end of season about like where the battle lines are for this war, and it looks like Menace has sort of grabbed what would have been their lines before, and the war will continue on this eastern side of the central ring, everywhere around Merlin's Rest. K-Bread grabbing like their normal areas, and it's kind of a big trek at the moment. You've got the Surf front on one side around Arthur's Rest, the Menace front around Merlin's Rest, and they really are putting that squeeze pressure on PoE. But the more they get pushed in, the easier it is to centralize.
Steve is catching up to CIR right now.
Okay, do you want to go on Syndic, or do you want to go
I'm on Tamashi right now, who's in the backside trying to catch up. I don't know how close they are to getting this group. Actually, you know, I'm going to take that back. I think this was a small group that they're chasing.
Yeah, Syndic's in a different zone.
Yeah, he's in a different zone. This is not the main CIR group, and Tamashi even sees that, and he's no longer chasing.
Whereabouts was that, though, by the way? Because
that was in Drivane Cross, and we also have Drivane Confluence also has a large June group as well.
It looks like, it does look like Syndic and the gang are trying to come in from End. They're queuing in from End to Confluence.
Okay, and now it looks like June has gone into Sunken Burrow Spring. So these guys are really playing
it's cat and mouse, isn't it?
It's
like we said, though, like it's not just... The thing is, with a war of this scale, with this much hand-holding, Shozen, it's not just see blob, fight blob. Right? You can't play like that, because each side has effectively 5 or 6 different forces in operation. So not only do you have to find an enemy to fight, you need to make sure that you're not immediately going to get flanked by 2 more blobs, because we know that all of these guilds can afford this. We know that they can, hundreds of sets every day is not a bother for them. They've all got the silver for it. The bankroll is not the issue, but that doesn't mean they just want to mindlessly throw their bodies into a meat grinder. I'm seeing more rage claws on the field than ever before. It's still an 18 million mount, Chosen, but it's not an 80 million mount anymore. So rage claw flex on reset day is real. We got about 15 minutes left of the show before we need to drop, so that the delay can catch up for the 20v20 show. It's going to be some interesting stuff.
Yeah, we will have a raffle in that show. I know a bunch of you guys are kind of sad you don't get the raffle here on delay, but we don't do raffles when we are on delay. It is far too hard to give them out and get them collected. So we will have quite a few to give away in our next show, because we do not have 5v5s today, as there are no high-level matches going on today on the Crystal League.
Elevate are going for the Zerg approach to the Guardian Lord, which actually takes like 5 minutes longer. But right now, Steve has full control of this zone. Do you think we'll see a Steve versus Cool, like just a fun fight?
I don't know if we'll be able to see it in our time, honestly.
I know.
I'm kind of concerned
like...
with how long this is going, and the teams I know that fight in 20v20s, they're all out. They're still all out right now. Both the Elevate and the Sun teams are currently fighting right now.
I feel like June have to fight something. I feel like June can't go home.
June needs to make a good 20v20 team and redo what they did during the height of Season 6 when they controlled so many cities.
Yeah, that was yeah, it was June, Blue Army, Money Guild, and then Elevate had that big
Elevate
city
came
control.
later and then took over. Yeah,
And that was,
Elevate did really well with 6, capping all 6 at one point, doing a fantastic job and holding them.
They defended like 3 simultaneously as well.
Yeah.
They fielded 60 people.
I honestly, how come they're not building their 20v20 teams and pushing for those? I mean, I understand
because it's not worth
Sun has said the rewards are pretty good.
If you want season points, that's all right. The rewards are okay. The problem is it's not cities, right? Cities were worth billions,
huge
weekly,
amounts of money. Yeah,
right.
Oh,
it wouldn't compare. See, I wouldn't mind cities coming back now that we have 20v20s as a training ground. Like, cities were a bad system before because it was a massive power creep in terms of huge amounts of wealth in one direction. And there was no way to, like, get to 20s apart from facing the best
off
team.
against the best teams in the game. Yeah, you could not scale up your team. You couldn't train well. You could only do scrims, and that meant you needed to have 40, and you'd only get as strong as what you could provide for a contest. It was very difficult.
Now that people are playing 20s daily, right? And I do hope it continues to grow because I think it's an insanely good format, and it's so much fun. Now that that's happening, I do honestly think, Shozen, that, like, cities, you should never give that amount of wealth from cities, but you could give a decent income equivalent to like a world boss, like, and it wouldn't be game breaking, and I think the competition would be so much better now.
I agree. I absolutely agree that it would be better competition. I don't know if giving people the cities is the right solution, but I wish there were more tangible rewards for guilds that weren't interested in season points, because season points only matter to a few guilds. They aren't really what people are pushing for. There's no real concrete victory, you know, achieved by season points.
If you're pushing for gold, you don't need really anything other than just like enough people willing to grind 80k points. If you're pushing for crystal, you could do it with or without teams. Like, it really only matters to people that are pushing for like a top 3 finish. It really does. And I don't know where the solution comes, whether it's buffing rewards or, as you said, making something for people that don't care about season points. I kind of wish we could make it so everybody cared about season points.
I wish we could, because too, Lewpac. I think if some ideas on that.
If everybody did, then suddenly, you know, everything's happening at once. People would be doing more mage raiding, but people would conversely be doing more mage defending. Like, home bases and dungeon spots would be contested. Like, every point would count, especially if every activity was capped. I would like everything to have a cap so that you had to diversify. And once you've hit cap on each activity, your next objective is to deny your enemies their cap through whatever means necessary.
It looks like we're about to have content over here on Bertle Q as Rise versus West is about to engage over here in Elder Sleep.
I'll tell you what, these boys have had action all day, haven't they? These guys have had fight after fight, and Rise had a little throwdown with Rise before. They're respectable, but they're probably a little bit outmatched here, I would say. And it looks like that first engage was pretty brutal on the north. This is just straight up there's not even a cluster queue in this zone, by the way. This is very small scale, which I like to see.
Right.
But I think the scale is getting smaller by the second.
It's getting smaller because these guys did not put up a front wave. They kind of started backing away, never regrouped into a singular location and had a counterplay available. So they just kind of got pecked off in smaller groups. And
can we just appreciate that Bertle stayed on his travel mount, dismounted with a mammoth in his bag just to get in on the action? I like that. I like that. I do too. It reminds me of the time. Oh, who was it? I think it might be Syndic. I think it might have been Syndic that dismounted to execute Mojo with the Bloodletter. He was like, they. I think they beat Blue Army. Mojo was low and on foot, and Syndic said, "Don't hit this man. I'm coming off my mammoth to get him." And it was the cheekiest thing I'd ever seen, Shozen. Like, the sheer audacity of it was, ouch.
Do you think that's what put Mojo on his knees?
I mean, I don't like this whole, like, knee bending and slave, you know, calling everyone slaves. I think at the end of the day, we have to remember this is a video game and everybody can just literally turn it off at any point that they wish. Right?
They could.
I just think they were like, we're better off as allies.
Oh, so they were just better off as allies. I see how it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think both of them have acquired enough enemies at some point. And like, they don't fight side by side all day, every day. But when it's necessary, they come together. And we saw what happened to people like Homeless Crew when they got stuck between those two, didn't we?
Yeah, they got crushed.
We saw brutal efficiency and, you know, and Homeless Crew, let's not forget that this time, like 2 resets ago, we watched Homeless Crew hold off like a wave after wave, like 600 people. Like we saw Homeless Crew do some disgusting things as a solo guild, and all of a sudden they're in this massive coalition, and they're just, I don't know. I just don't think it suits them. They've got a few. Oh, Africa now. He's got a few PoE up on the fence, distributing some pain. It does look like the PoE and PoE2 group is that blob the other side of Sunfang approach.
Oh, here comes the call. This is just June and Homeless Crew now running into each other. Massive, massive groups here. Let's see what happens over here on this field of play. I'm gonna go check out the other blob.
I think PoE just leaves here.
Yeah, they've already left.
Oh, there's a queue. I think they're all just going to run away. Again,
they're going into the territory to bank. Maybe not. Maybe they'll fight for the territory. I mean, Sun is here on the territory.
I think they're bang. They're there, but no one's getting naked.
Right. They're just standing here on the territory. I think we might see a territory surround and fight because
it's a
these
level
guys are on their way. There's no getting out. Like, you're not coming. Call is here.
Yeah.
Call is on top of them now. June is here, and Sun is demounting, getting ready for a battle. Who do we want to watch? What's the perspective you want? You know the guys in Sun.
I don't mind. I think Africa now is going to give us a good POV.
Right,
looks like he's going to hold the north. I don't know why they went in his tower to hold. I think
maybe they know somebody's coming.
Maybe backup's coming. Yeah, maybe Mojo's coming, but I don't know if they'll even survive that long because you could just dive this tower. The Sentry Mage is level 1. It doesn't do enough, and these guys are just going to get murdered under the tower. Like, Africa now's coming up from behind, doesn't care. Obviously, they got to pay a little bit of care
yeah, that's hurting. It's tickling.
Yeah, and it ramps up over time as well. The longer you stay in it, the more it hurts.
I don't like attacking from the backside here, Lewpac. I always feel that this is the worst direction to come from.
So these guys are there to make sure there's no north escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to miss all the action. That was what that was. They were like, oh, they're getting all the fun. But then they're not allied. Because they're all not allied, they can't even fight over the top.
It looks like they're coming out the backside now. We're seeing Rage or I don't know that company. AOF company? Okay.
AOF company is...
And Rage Control.
Yeah. I think they used to be an Arch. But I don't understand. If you knew that June were with Homeless Crew, you probably don't... you probably just don't go to the tower. You probably just... Oh, the exit was queued, I think, was the problem. And they were waiting on... Oh, Squad are here. This is about to...
Get juicy.
This is about to heat up a little bit. And Homeless Crew...
And Call is leaving.
They run
June is backing out. June is remounted. They might be repositioning, but I just watched Dobby and the boys mount up.
I mean, there's no Poe left. Yeah, I think they're just looping around to go back into the squad right now. It does look like June is going for a hard engage forward, trying to find a few of the Blue Army boys. Do you want to stay on Africa now, or do you want to jump to Mojo, or what?
Well, we can, let's see what's going on with June. Who do they have? We got Dobby as a tank.
Del Negro is their shot caller with a 0 at the end.
Oh, actually, Dobby's going in the opposite direction. I don't even know where he's going right now. Okay, let's go see.
They got the 8-3 OC'd for this fight as well. I don't think they needed to OC yet. I think Blue Army might just peace out here. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I see too.
Like, which, I mean, the thing is I guess the game plan... Oh, wait, no, Blue Army's gone into a dungeon. Wait, what?
Oh, no.
Wait, what?
Come on, guys.
I don't even know.
Well, we have 5 minutes to cover this.
They went into
a hard stop.
Nah, they went into a dungeon to skip out, and now they're leaving because they've got an enormous friendly force in the next zone.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just chilling. And this is one of the things, right? So what happens here is both sides' force is so large that they can't zone into each other anymore because you'll never get enough through to take the fight. So now they can't zone into Cool. Cool can't really zone into them. And everybody just goes home. Except for those guys who decided to sit under the tower and die. Those guys are dead.
Those guys, they're home.
Yeah, they got what we call fast travel. Taxi Carlian, as the Gank Guild is called. I like it. Wait, no, hang on. Are these guys queuing back into approach? Maybe we're gonna see something. Don't know.
Wait, let me see what we have.
There was a fair few bodies under the tower, but wasn't as many as you'd expect to die in that. Looks like a ton of them managed to break out in some direction. Call is chasing something. They look like they're chasing something, or they're just
not really. Like I'm watching Africa now, and he looks like he's just making sure all of his boys get through out the gate. He's watching June go through. He's making sure that Menace gets out. Yeah. Now he's going north. I don't think we're going to see a fight here, and I think we should probably wrap it up, Lewpac, because we have
you guys have got to go, and I'm going back to my neighbors for a pie. Oh baby.
Oh. All right.
So yeah, the No GVG show this evening has definitely benefited me, but make sure you keep it locked on Albion TV for that 20v20 action coming up in just a sec. Also, just a reminder that I'm sure you know the NA reset is coming this evening, and the guys will spend some time likely going over who grabbed what during EU reset. Nowadays, it's just so action-packed that we don't even get a chance to talk about it, do we, Shozen?
No, we don't really have time to do a recap, especially with the next show in line right away. And we do have to get going, guys, so do stick around. The 20v20s will be starting in just a minute.
See you soon, and thank you for watching this show.